conference will now be recorded.
Okay, okay.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the March 23rd, 2026 Community Redevelopment Agency meeting. Ricardo, may I have the roll call, please?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Steven Spina,
Here.
Jody Wilkeson, Lance Smith. Here. Charles Proctor.
Here.
Kenneth Burgess.
Here.
Mayor Munson.
Here.
William Poe.
Here.
Matthew Maggard.
Here.
Thank you. we'll go right into the business items. And we have review of the CRA minutes from February 23rd. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? No. Motion approved. We have item 1.2, CRA special meeting, minutes of March 9th.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Aye. Item 1.3, the CRA master plan draft update.
I make a motion.
We have to talk.
Good try.
Let me finish talking
Good
first.
try.
I thought this was going to be a quick meeting.
I'm trying. When I got the slide deck for the update, it was 120 slides. So I have spent the day trimming it down because.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go to Ms.
So
Hamilton.
tonight, what we're really talking about is the CRA plan, the master plan, the update, and what you as the CRA commissioners would like to see. We've heard from the public. We've heard from the consultants. We're going to pitch some ideas. The plan has them laid out pretty distinctly and thoroughly. We're going to go over some broad ideas tonight just to give you some ideas and give some feedback to staff on what you want to make sure is in the document. Because this is the comprehensive vision for the CRA for the next 10 years. We have to identify capital projects, infill redevelopment sites. Are we going to attract businesses and jobs, continue supporting the existing businesses? We talked about streamlining regulations and processes for redevelopment and updating the increment fund projections. Some of this is statutory. Some of it is, the CRA plan needs to be specific enough so that elected officials and our community members know exactly where we're going, but broad enough so that we can take advantage of anything that comes our way that would help boost the CRA and the district's bottom line, make it more attractive. The whole idea behind a CRA is to increase value. We are here to increase value within the district. The plan process, we started out by site reconnaissance. We looked at the area, we took pictures, we looked at current conditions, demographics. We did a plan presentation. You remember that one that you kept saying, we got to go. She was taking so long. And now we have a draft document and we want to present it and get your input. So some of the information about the CRA. The district is about 1.3 square miles. Residents within the CRA is about 3,300. There are 306 businesses within the CRA. And the district employs about 1,750 employees. That is as of today. Here are the things that we heard from the community that we love. This is what our community loves. They love Main Street and the City Hall complex. I think what they really love is that look and that feel, the historic neighborhoods, the parks, our start at art projects within the district, our Main Street, Hercules Park. This is what we heard that they would like to see improved. Bike lanes, new sidewalks. We're working on sidewalks, but we need more sidewalks. We need to look at lighting and when we look at our sidewalks, flooding, existing alleys. The alleyways need improvement. 5th Street and Oakside neighborhood and C Avenue looking west. The flood risk map, the flooding in the area, existing accessory dwelling units on the alleyways. All of these things can be improved. Now, I will say that they've included stormwater The CRA can support the city's efforts on stormwater, but that is a bigger issue than just the CRA. So, growth projections by 2045, when the CRA will end. The sunset date for the CRA is 2045. We're estimated to grow 30%. Our employees are estimated to grow 42%. We will accommodate 260,000 square feet of new commercial space and 462 new housing units to support the population. Our top industries continue to be healthcare and social assistance, retail, trade, accommodations, and educational services. We put in the food manufacturer in Paducah, the MyTex and those, thinking that that will have a huge impact on housing needs within the district. So in the community workshop, we had 40 participants provide 150 comments. The online survey was 150 participants with 250 comments. And these are the things that they wanted to see the CRA work on. Art. The residents appreciated the downtown and the CRA districts for its city hall, the churches, the schools. All of that makes a feeling. You know, it's walkable. The history and the heritage. Residents cherish the small town atmosphere and deeply value the rich history of the area. The neighborhoods, the walkability of the neighborhoods. Yes, we say walkability, but the walkability could be a whole lot better than it is. Zephyr Park and the Main Street and local businesses. It's that feeling of where you know your neighbor. Things that the community wanted to improve. And these are the things that I need all of us to pay attention to, because this is where we need to come up with our projects and our funding sources. The desire for more art, pedestrian and bicycle improvements, streetscape enhancements, adequate alley infrastructure, flooding management, safe and affordable neighborhoods, park maintenance. Now, we heard diverse events. The CRA does not do events. We can create the Clock Plaza, redo it so that it is better accommodating for events, but we do not do events. And the need for more restaurants and entertainment venues. So the vision for the CRA is to foster an exceptional quality of life in Zephyrhills by creating a vibrant, safe, and inclusive community, honoring our heritage and celebrating our future. And how are we going to do that? Through guiding principles of prosperity, heritage, diversity, resilience, and placemaking. When we start looking at our plan, I really like when we're doing projects for the CRA to hit several different types of projects, whether it's economic development, whether it's placemaking, the parks, the Clock Plaza, things that people see. We spent a year working on sidewalks that nobody saw that we were working on, but there were other projects going that they could see that we were doing. So we kind of want to, and I want to use these symbols so that next year when we are doing, or after this is approved, when we have projects, see if I can put them in the different categories and show what areas we're hitting and what we're not. So here's
Can you
the
go
work.
back a minute?
Sure.
Okay, never mind, thank you. I wasn't sure if we were allowed to say diversity.
Oh, well, we did.
I'm being smart.
I may get a call later. Which big move should the CRA focus on first? Are we looking to invest and expand our Main Street area? And when she says Main Street, it's really the downtown. Restore Zephyr Creek, redesign Fifth Avenue, establish distinct gateways, places, and features, work on flood management, transform Gall Boulevard into a mixed and livable corridor, create a greenway loop connecting downtown destinations. This one, number 7, got a lot of input from staff and community leaders about if we're going to create parks, we need to create a way for kids to get to them, for people to get to them, and get to all of them. So here's the idea for Gall Boulevard. These are big transformative ideas. It won't happen overnight. It won't happen in 5 years. But the idea is, do we want Gall Boulevard to have buildings up to the road, to do stormwater planters, to look at creating a more livable environment on Gall Boulevard? Will the city accept a 3-story building on a corner? Now, when you look at that, that doesn't look bad. It doesn't look overpowering. Now, the problem is you don't see a building next to it that's 1 story. So that's what we want to create so that we can see. But Kevin really loves the gateway signage. So we talk about transformable and transforming Fifth Avenue, because we are now calling Fifth Avenue all the way down to First Street in front of Zephyr Park. One of the things that came out very strongly from the neighborhoods of Oakside neighborhood was they could not safely walk across Fifth Avenue to the park, that it was dangerous and they would not let their kids cross Fifth Avenue. So we looked at ways that we could transform that section of the road and into a Rambla style, which really means that we can close the road off and put an event out there in front of it. We'll have better luck now that that portion of the road is county road. It's not going to be state road pretty soon. We have had a couple of conversations about this with the county engineers, and surprisingly, I don't think they hate it. I don't think they understand it, but we'll work through that.
So you want to park cars in the middle?
Mhm.
I've seen that like in Fort Collins, Colorado, and different places where they have that.
Hollywood, Florida does it, and their downtown is very walkable and it's very safe. So it's something that we would like to consider. So moving forward, we want to revamp corridors and gateway places. We want to invest in economic development, enhance our housing and neighborhoods. We want to build on our transportation and infrastructure and leverage parks and open spaces to enhance the vitality of the community. So when we put the numbers up, this is what we got. Economic development was the number 1. Parks and open spaces was the number 2. Housing and neighborhoods were 3. Corridor and gateway places was 4. And transportation and infrastructure is 5. Though I don't think that they did enough in explaining that transportation and infrastructure means sidewalks and street lighting. So we want to create distinctive gateways into the district. Now, we are working right now on doing signage, park signage that says Shepherd's Park. Well, it will say Shepherd's Park, but we want to create a gateway, something that's more than just a sign. We want to invest in the economic development of the district. And by doing that, that means looking at Gall Boulevard and the vision of Gall Boulevard.
Do we have a time frame on when that one-way pair thing's going to be starting actually?
About 7 years away.
7?
Well, for the phase that goes through town, the southern, from the apex, 301, 39 down 56 is.
Not in our life.
I was going to say, that will be 80.
You know how slow government moves.
Yes, I do. I'm learning real fast.
Yeah, so the priorities got flip-flop, much to our disappointment. So now 301 South, from the 39, 301 Apex south to 56 is the first priority. That could happen in a couple of years. But then, of course, the through town got backed up. It's supposed to be on target right after that project is complete. And the city, county MPO is going to have to work together, and we're going to have to make sure that that remains the priority for that section to be completed right after, so nothing else jumps it.
Yeah.
Well, and Todd, didn't we talk about doing them simultaneously? There was a thought about that because I had talked with Randy Maggard a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it could be simultaneous, and it's not all going to be done in one phase. It's back in the day, it was between 70 and $100 million project to do one phase. So yeah, like 52, it's taken several phases. So in theory, it could be simultaneous, but just in the phasing over several years, to get it all done.
But one of the things that, like Tom was saying, as they're planning this, if we have a plan of what we would like to see on the roadway and how these properties abutting 301, we can partner with DOT and try and get some of the work done as part of this project. So having our projects in order might help. People were really interested in public art and creating a brand for Zephyrhills that said destination public art, that people would come to Zephyrhills to see whatever that is with its ears flopped out.
Upside down bunny. Tipped over bunny.
I would have chosen a better picture, let me tell you. But public art as a economic strategy is not a bad one to follow for a small town.
Do we still, when people pulled building permits, a percentage of that went to art? Is that still in place?
Yes, yes.
Do we have like a line item of how much money's in it, or?
Wasn't it just commercial buildings? Or?
Yeah.
Yes, it's
yeah.
just commercial buildings.
And it was a low amount. It was,
1%,
and it wasn't collected for a while.
right, correct.
Actually, it was implemented about 3 weeks ago to start collecting it. Because it had not been collected. And then like with the major project by Duco MyTech, it was all waived. But we had the conversation and it was start charging it. So that has been about 3 weeks ago. It was.
The plan is
put in.
calling for us to do public art initiatives and we need to use all the tools that we have.
Yeah,
So
because we did that like 10 years ago.
What are we gonna use that money for public art?
Yeah.
For public
So we
art.
can, if we want to do a statue or something, who knows?
So, and incentive programs. There are all types of incentive programs out there, interior build outs, exterior build outs, whatever. The CRA needs to be flexible enough that if a business comes in and says, I want to move into the district, that we can provide some incentives to get them here instead of Temple Terrace or Plant City or Dade City.
Mr. Chair, can I on the commercial side of it, I mean, I think everybody would agree that we're missing a decent restaurant downtown. That's really, really what we need. However, if somebody comes in and I'm putting in, just pick any, I don't know what to pick, a thrift shop, and I apply for the $50,000, can we not target it to a desired?
We can target it if you would like to, so that we can.
Personally, that's what I think we should do. Now, that's just me,
We can bring back some ideas on how others are doing.
because we can have the nicest gateway, we can have the nicest parks, we can have that. But I think if we don't have the right mix of businesses downtown, I mean.
We're still missing it.
And honestly, I go up to Dade City, and I think the other thing we need to do is I need to meet with building owners and encourage them and let them see that if they improve their building and they get the right tenant, they'll make more money. it's an economic thing. I mean, you do have to invest money, and we don't have building owners that are investing money in the
No,
buildings.
we don't.
I mean, we really don't. So
No.
we've got to do something about
We're
that.
using code enforcement now to get commercial businesses to improve their building.
And really, we need to do it by showing them that they can make more money.
We need a carrot instead of a stick.
Yes, because
Mm-hmm.
I've had conversations with Will Bingham and also with Brent and I. And I'm trying to talk to them, and we were thinking that maybe we need to meet with the building owners and just have the discussion, just
Well, I
say,
think
hey,
that's a great idea.
hey, we've got, identify every building that we figure is going to be the prominent building and
Mhm.
say, look, here's what you can make, but you've got to invest. However, the city's willing to give you some. We need to come up with a program where we're meeting with them and sell them. We've got to sell them on
We
that
got to
idea.
sell it. I
Yeah.
agree. That's a great idea.
The other
Yes,
problem
sir.
we have, I think, is, it's in the report. I don't know if you're going to touch on this in this part, but the distressed community index and our whole city
Yeah.
is at risk.
Yep.
Yes.
And the salaries, we have to show that we can support a business once we get somebody to get here and do it. I mean, if we don't
That
have
really
that.
is the issue. It's the chicken and egg. I can't get, the rooftops don't show the demographics that the businesses want. And so I have to try and sell it on the idea of get in on the ground floor,
Well, and I think what we can do is expand the circle to the Two Rivers community. And there you have the socioeconomic people that we can get up here.
Well, right outside the city, it's, what is it called? Prosperous in the Wesley Chapel zip codes. So how different can it be from here to,
Well, I'll tell you, I had a
um,
business that came and was looking at Zephyrhills because he could open his restaurant here and it was only 12 minutes from the Wesley Chapel market that they would
Mm-hmm.
come 12 minutes. They wouldn't go to Dade City. That was a little too far, but they would come this far. So
we
that's
gotta
how we're
improve
trying to sell that.
somehow.
Yeah,
And
well,
I
and
think-
staff met with potential business owner to talk about locating in the downtown and possibly creating a special grant that would lure a restaurant type business to the downtown area. It hasn't materialized, so it hasn't been brought back. It hasn't been brought to council. So,
We're still
if
working
and when that
that.
happens, that'll be a conversation that's brought publicly to you guys. But right now we have to keep it pretty generic because of
And
different building
also-
owners and things like that.
We have building owners or property owners that are, generational owners that have not done anything with their property.
They
because-
haven't changed the carpet in generations in there. So I'm serious. You go in
Yes.
some of those buildings and you look up and like, my gosh, there's leaks everywhere,
So, I mean,
And some of those same people are buying more down here. I don't know if you knew that or not.
yes.
So,
And that is an issue for us. That is an issue. So yeah, maybe we have a workshop and talk about this, or each one of you individually. Let's, talk about it and see how we can one-on-one, maybe a meeting with the realtors
Yeah.
and see if we can't get something moving.
That's what I thought. I thought we could meet realtors, us, and then the owners.
Mhm.
Not all together, one-on-one. And basically, like if we said, okay, we've identified 2 or 3 buildings that would work, the first one who comes up with this, we've got a tenant lined up, try and line up the tenant with the realtors already.
Right.
And maybe this is somewhere where ZDAC could work with us and help us with, getting people together, owners,
Mhm.
potential property, businesses. That would be another way we could work together on that.
Because it's very clear that we're all going to have to work at this, roll up our sleeves and work at it and be creative and come up with some ideas, because
I think we recruit. I think we go after somebody we want. Okay, set the plan. We want you here. Here's what we want to offer you,
Well,
So
and
we,
let's do
so
an
as a staff, we
inventory of
have
buildings, too.
reached
that's
out
exactly right.
to specific restaurants and business owners to say, we want you here. We've had them at our conference table, talking to them. just hasn't materialized yet.
Well-
So we are trying to take those steps.
But I think that there are buildings out there, because when we met with them, the building that they were interested in couldn't, they want to own the building and the building owner wouldn't sell. But we only knew what we knew. There's other opportunities out there that if we work with the realtors, we might be able to find that building,
Yeah,
you know, that
and-
fit.
And I think that's it. I think that we get those guys in a room and talk generalities.
Mhm.
Here's what we like, here's what we like. What do you think? And keep it in front of them, because they'll leave and they'll go to the next deal. So
Mhm.
keep pounding. And that's what I've been trying to do. I call them and say, hey, you got somebody, and we're working, trying to get a little bit higher tenant. Because some of these buildings they're only getting like $3 a square foot for some of them. And I don't get it.
I don't get it. I don't get it. So
Did I just give- I'm sorry.
if we have a great downtown, we need great neighborhoods. So we need to enhance our housing and neighborhoods within the district. We need to have different options. We need to have, you know, every one of those, cottage court, a side-by-side duplex, a stacked duplex. We need to start looking at and investing in the infrastructure. You know, the CRA currently is purchasing land so that we can stockpile it or put it together and come up with a better project. There's $400,000 in my budget this year to buy land. We bought several pieces and we're continuing to purchase land.
Do you think that same owner might be willing to build new? The one we're doing? I mean,
Yes.
look at every option.
And that will involve bringing back the council or the CRA board, because currently the grant only allows for rehab and not new. So we need to be flexible in how we work our grants, how we write the grants. We have talked about doing neighborhood identification signage, but it wasn't in my plan. So now it is. We want to develop, part of this is we want people to love where they live, be proud of where they live, and help us come up with signage and identification that says, I live in the Jeffries neighborhood. I live in the Oakside neighborhood. Look at different ways of filling empty spaces. Here's some examples of in Columbia, Washington, or in Seattle, Washington, they took an old church and made an apartment building out of it. In Orange County, they built or they created several house plans. And if you'll build a new stacked duplex, we'll give you the set of plans. That'll save you that money. It's already gone through building. Building has already approved it. So we can cut down on the time it takes for you to start digging dirt. And then we get what we're looking for. And if we own the land, that's part of the deal. We can help it as well, and also include accessory dwelling units. Yes, oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I just say, I have a idea for our logo there in Orange County. You can say ready, set, jump.
Oh, very cute. I like that. Kevin, did you write that down?
And Gail, can I say something?
Sure.
I'd love to see some way that when you're buying up these lands, that you could partner with, since we really need affordable homes, with Habitat, building a courtyard, maybe they are your first cottage court, or
Yes.
your courthouse, courtyard, because they're open to building
They are
what
very
you need.
open.
So, the problem is the affordability of land in Zephyrhills. So if you have the land and know what you want, they will build it. I really would like to see you partnering more
All right.
with them on
And
that.
that's the discussion with the CRA board as well, because right now it is,
I agree.
But that's the conundrum we have. I mean, it says we're distressed, at risk, the average house is 250,
Mhm.
which is not cheap. And then the prices are high. It's
Yes.
like, it doesn't all mesh.
No, no. And I mean, there are good people out there that just need a help get, I mean, help getting into their home. It's
Mhm.
not that they are, what's the word am I looking for?
They're not looking for a handout.
That's-
And, the thing that people don't understand is like with the Habitat homes, they're sold at market value. So it doesn't decrease the land value or the home value.
That's it.
They just give the opportunity for the homeowner to be able to afford that mortgage.
Right.
So if they can
Yeah, it
only
is a
afford.
market rate house.
Right, it's a market rate house, which would allow us to build some, some of those areas that we're looking at that we
Yes.
want to use for.
But I was very
projects.
surprised at some of the data that came in that the 30-somethings don't want to own. They want to rent.
Isn't that weird?
They don't want to own a home. They don't want to mow the grass or take care of the air conditioner if it breaks. So the idea of creating some kind of duplex or, smaller apartment building, I think would go very well in the CRA.
Well, I don't believe it's just 30-year-olds, because I have a lot of customers that are coming down from up north and they're selling their homes
That's true.
and they want to rent because they're sick and tired of the taxes, they're sick and tired of the maintenance.
The
The whole-
insurance.
and
The
a lot of-
insurance, yeah.
Yeah, the insurance.
Yeah, I was thinking that the other day, that, I mean, they were saying, if you add up what your taxes are and your insurance and maintenance is, you could probably just rent a place and call the landlord,
And especially the older set that have retired, they want to be able to lock their door and go and not have to worry about maintenance or any of that.
But when we met with Randy up in Tallahassee, he said, and I wrote it down, I don't have it, that, I mean, a high number of people don't want to buy anymore. I don't remember the percentage, but I want to say like 30 or 40%, he said, don't
Surprising.
want to buy houses.
That is interesting. So transformational projects is the connectivity map. How do we connect all of the great places, the parks, the downtown, the tennis center, all of that? How do we connect it together? And another one of the issues that we are having right now is the alleyways. We are so incredibly lucky that we have alleys. And we're not using them, and we need to. 12th Street is getting so busy. Backing out onto 12th is not a good idea. So you could, come in from the alley. We have lots of neighborhoods that we could improve the alley, and not only improve them, but create opportunities for housing that face the alley if the alleys were nice. Nobody wants to look at it the way it is now, but we could make it that way and create, because the first thing that anybody, when I say, let's redo the alleys, the first thing I hear is the stormwater. How are you going to pave those alleys and justify the stormwater? Well, there are many ways to do it. We just need to get creative. We are working on the sidewalk plan. We have done the high priority sidewalks and the medium priority sidewalks. The existing sidewalks are 3 feet wide. We need to go back and look at those. And we need to make streetscape improvements. We have to get some lighting in the neighborhoods. We need to enhance our plantings in the neighborhoods. We need to do wayfinding and create bike paths and have street furniture. So if I'm, walking down the sidewalk and I want to stop and, I don't know, talk to my neighbor, I can stop and there's a nice place to sit. All of those things make a neighborhood. And we need to better look at what our neighborhoods are now and what we want them to be. And this is talking about the Greenway Loop and Zephyr Creek Restoration. The Zephyr Creek Restoration is not our project. It's bigger than the CRA. It's really bigger than the city. It's a joint project, but we can benefit from it by creating a running path or a walking path around it. Use it, make it more for activity than just a bioswale. We looked at redesigning Shepherd's Park. Now, this was done a year and a half ago, where we looked at, did we want to create a resiliency hub? At the time we were looking at this was after Milton. And the idea of having one spot where if you couldn't find somebody, you went here. If you needed water, you went here. If you needed to cool off and use your cell phone or try and communicate, get online, you went to the resiliency hub. So this is the thing that we were talking about, or this is the idea of creating some type of resiliency hub within the community. It doesn't have to be at Shepherd's Park. It could be anywhere. And that is the input for the master plan. Now, what I'm asking you is, we've kind of done an overview of the different projects. You have it online. If you would like a paper copy, we'll make you a paper copy. But I'd like you to take the next month to look at it. The ideas that we came up with tonight, I will include them so that when we meet next month, we can kind of do some input, give some input. Let's discuss it and come up with a final plan for the CRA. Any questions? My door is always open, or my phone. Give me a call. We can talk about it.
Mr. Chair, yeah, thank you. And that's a lot.
It's a lot.
That's a lot. So we need to break it down into small, manageable pieces.
Mhm.
And if we're talking about an alley, I would suggest we just pick one that looks the best and do one, you know. If we can do cluster stuff rather than like,
Well, we thought
shotgun
about
it.
doing like neighborhoods and saying in 2027, we'll do, say, the Jeffries neighborhood. And we'll do one alley at a time until our money is out. And then next year, we'll continue until we get that entire neighborhood done.
yeah, and I think probably pick out one where it's going to have the greatest impact.
Yeah.
And the other thing, when we were talking about affordable and people renting, I know in there a portion of it was an accessory dwelling was
Yes.
part of it. So we need to try and incentivize that somehow. Maybe when somebody puts in one of those, do they have to pay the sewer and water impact fee or not?
Yeah, planning is working on that right now, planning and building, because you are, Rodney, help me with this. What's the fee for an ADU?
Well, it's about 3/4 of what a standard residential unit, 1/4 of a standard. We're working to try to reduce that.
Yeah.
Especially in the historic neighborhood, correct?
Well, yeah, it should be in a way, in my way of thinking, because if I added 2 bedrooms on that same house, do I have to pay an impact fee on that? If the answer is no, then it doesn't make sense for us to charge an extra for that. So
I think it's based on bathrooms, though.
is it
I
bathroom?
believe so.
I think it
Yeah,
is
I believe it's
bathrooms.
based on bathrooms.
But I still think if we're going to encourage it, we need to make it 0.
I agree. And not only that, if we don't encourage it, by what we're going to get is Ted sheds that are moved in the middle of the night that we don't know anything about, and it's not going to help us. If we help those, I mean, we could even do a couple of plans for ADUs and say, you want to build one? No impact fees, and here's a set of plans that you can use.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, there's ways to incentivize it.
Okay. Anybody, you, Mayor?
I just have some questions.
Sure.
If I can,
Yeah, go ahead.
can I, that's not just this, or is that okay?
Well, let's do this first.
Okay, yeah. So I'm all with him on the ADUs for sure.
And I will get with Habitat.
Yeah, and then, I know there's this sidewalk plans, but I sure don't remember, and I work here, seeing any sidewalks this last year being done. I know the year before we did $1 million, but I thought we were going to constantly be adding.
Yes, and Shan's not
Sidewalks.
here. I think they're working on the plans.
I
It's
know.
not in my district.
I get it. I get
So-
it. We were just hoping that the plans would be done, keep working plans and building plan,
Well,
so
and
it doesn't.
I was going to ask the city manager questions about that because I've been harping on the Sixth Avenue sidewalk and you have joined that with other areas, I think in Zephyr Heights.
Correct.
What is the status of that?
I'd have to call the engineer and ask them.
Because, all right,
I know they're
because
being designed.
a year ago in March, you gave us a noted item that you had picked an engineer or somebody
BGE.
to do sidewalks. So
Hmm.
how can they still be working on that a
Yeah.
year later?
I'll have to ask them. I think part of the issue was some right-of-way issues. Things had to be surveyed and
But-
then where that lands.
We don't even have plans within a year, so that's something we need to work.
Well, and I don't know because it's outside of the
Well,
CRA,
know,
so I don't
I'm
want
not-
to.
I just wanted to, since we're on that.
The other thought I had, and really I've seen this in different places, is, the Eagles would be an ideal place to have a maker's mark or a co-working environment where you have, people there learning how to cook and food and coffee shop and working. So that kind of thing would be an ideal if there's any way we can kind of target when you're looking at finding places to target. Would be a great asset for that place to have multi-use.
Yes.
When you're talking people coming down, if you had 4 or 5 co-working environments in there, that brings a whole bunch of people downtown.
There's one in Orlando, I think it's still there, where they sold on the first floor.
Mhm.
They developed on the second floor.
Yep.
And had their kitchen, their commercial kitchen on the third floor.
Something like that.
Something
So,
like that. Mhm.
Yeah, and then at Shepherd's Park, when we start looking at that, we need to make sure we've got some idea of a bathroom. But right now, I've got many calls about a fence line or something. It's being used. We wanted that to be used. It's now being used by people, but they're nervous about their children running in that busy road. So I'm hoping that we can start looking at.
And we are putting in a fence at the basketball area.
Yeah.
Where the court is to.
But it
to
needs to
stop.
be
Are
where.
you talking 301?
Mhm.
Along
Okay.
301.
Yes,
Okay.
along 301 for safety wise. So those were what I had
And
in this.
While you said Shepherd's Park, let me just say, we have ordered the benches for
Mhm.
Shepherd's Park have been
Okay.
ordered
Good.
and those and trash cans. So those will be coming, as well as we're adding benches and trash cans around the basketball court.
Perfect.
Because you are right. They are using it.
They're using
It is
it now.
wonderful to see that many
Mhm.
kids out there playing,
Mhm.
and we need to make sure that
We
it's
need
safe
to make
for
sure
them.
it's
And the
safe for
same
them.
thing's happening at Depot Park and other places with that new equipment, so.
Yeah, but over there, it's not as
Yeah,
busy of a road.
Right, no, I mean the
The
park.
301 is just a
Mhm.
dangerous road. So that's what I have for this. And then when you're done, with
Right,
this.
I have a couple things about
Okay.
it. Have you, or we, or anybody thought about expanding this district again to 20th Street maybe, or south of South Avenue?
Well, when we started this, I kind of floated that balloon and I didn't get a whole lot of response about expanding it, because if we expand it, it does cut into the city's tax base. So I just want, that is something we can certainly look at. I have had people say, why don't you go all the way to 20th? It doesn't make sense that you don't go all the way to
Right, I
20th.
think we should look at that. The other question I have relates directly to that. Is there talk on the state level, or what happens to CRA funding if they do away with ad valorem taxes on residential property?
It will, I'm not sure, because there are CRAs that have bonded money and they bonded their tax revenue. So what happens? Well, in the one city that I talked to, they have a covenant to budget with the city council. So if they can't make their bond payment because ad valorem taxes, they will be looking, and so will the bond company be looking to the city.
I mean,
But
when you
there
look at,
is-
when you look at the plans and where we want to go down the road, I mean, we need to have a contingency plan or something, or we're not going to have any money.
That is correct. You are right. And,
So,
you know, this idea of there's no way it'll pass.
hmm.
If it's on the ballot, it'll pass.
Yeah.
Well, they can't get it through the legislature, but aren't they meeting again to talk about it again? So, I mean, it's not gone, so we need to.
I know
that
the
needs to
FRA
be-
is working very hard, and I have personally been calling legislators and saying what an effect it would have on the city of Zephyrhills CRA.
Okay, I just wanted that brought up. Okay.
Aren't we doing an exercise that we're looking at that, the impact of if that went through on the city budget? And couldn't part of that exercise being how it affects the CRA?
Yeah, so
I'm
if,
not sure who's looking
if
at
that is, yes, we can look at that. I think off the top of my head, it's $3.7 million impact to the city. I don't know, I don't remember if that included the CRA or not.
it. Didn't it, Tim?
I don't know if Ted looked at that. It's what was asked of Ted's a different than what is here.
Oh, okay.
What was asked of the finance team was to look at if the county reduced the millage by 2 mills, what would the impact be to the CRA? That's about a $271,000 hit. The question of if property taxes are eliminated
On homestead property.
on homestead properties, how would that impact the CRA? I don't know that answer. I know total impact to the city is $3.7 million, but I don't know if that included the CRA numbers
And
or not.
I will tell you right now, we're doing a lot for homesteaded properties. We're doing more for homestead than we are for commercial. We may have to rethink that.
Well, you're right. That's exactly right.
So,
Okay, all right, thank you. I guess you better get into your 1.4 cleanup report.
okay, it'll be quick. Have you got it up there? We had a great turnout. I mean, what was it, 240? 240 drop-offs, but not just the drop-offs and I don't have total tonnage yet because they're still working on it. And Shane had to leave early today, so I didn't get those numbers from him. But all of the departments were out working. All of the divisions of Public Works, all of our department heads came out and helped. The mayor and the youth council came out and helped. It was a great day. And do you have some pictures? Okay. Not only, look at that Calvin out there unloading chairs. It was a good team building spirit, and only in the city of Zephyrhills would we ask you to participate in a community cleanup and you drive up and we take it out of your car for you. You never even have to get out of the car. Now that's service. But they piled up a lot of junk. So we were really pleased and with the turnout and the amount of debris that was removed from the city streets. And I'll send an email with you for the total tonnage so you'll know exactly what it was.
This trailer right here was full, all the way from the bottom, all the way to the top of just tires when that trailer pulled in. And it's a 12-foot long trailer.
Wow.
And it was like 5 courses high of where the puke those were stored. I have no idea. But it
Think
was,
of the bacteria and the
Yes.
mosquitoes and all of that were
Yeah.
living in that.
Yeah.
And we got it off the street. So that right there is,
It's a nice door.
I know, we should have kept that door.
all right. And that's all I have on the,
All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, then your report.
yes, the 8th Street and Oakside Cemetery. The cemetery is under construction. The 8th Street portion will start next week after Founder's Day. Zephyr Park, I spoke to the landscape architects today, James Panquin with Kimley Horn. They are refining the 60% plans and anticipate to have them to the CM and the city by the end of next week. They are also refining the bank edge and the geotech is working on borings. Now, I copied that exactly from his email. The Clock Plaza rehab, the CRA approved the construction plan, scope of services at the February 23rd meeting. Kimley Horn is working on the construction plans. What we would like to do is have the trees that were taken out, the trees replanted, the landscaping redone in the medians, and Clock Plaza done all at the same time under the same contract. We'd like to get it, we think by doing that much, we'll get an economy of scale and we'll get a better price. Plus, I need it done before the end of October. It's got to be done. Park signage, I'm still waiting from Kenco Signs for an install date. I have talked to him, but I don't have an install date yet for the board. Last week we met with the team from Paducah. Paducah has purchased the Wendy's building on Gall Boulevard and is rehabbing it into a retail place. They sent their marketing team up and we talked about interior and exterior designs. Nothing, as we know, nothing they do is short-sighted or less than. They are planning something very great for that piece of property, something we'll all be proud of. And we are working, CRA, code enforcement planning, and the city attorney are working on rewriting the food truck ordinance as well. So Rodney has taken that on and is working with Matt to get all of our updates into the food truck ordinance. So we have a new one. And that is all for my report. Any
I
questions?
have one thing on the food truck. I noticed is there any kind of protection for a storefront that is in business and a food truck of the same thing goes in next to it or across the street from it? I mean, we're trying to attract businesses
Yeah.
and everything downtown and into our business district. And then some guy pulls a truck up and sells the exact same product across the street. No taxes, no
And
no
therein
commitment.
lies the problem that we're working on.
All right.
That is what we're working on. All
Thank you.
right. That is all I have for the CRA. Antoine, you ready?
Didn't even know you were there.
Hiding back there.
Good afternoon. How's everybody doing?
Good afternoon. Good, thank you.
I wanted to share a project we've been working on with HCP. As everyone knows, we are a few days away from Founders Day, and I just think it's really important for us to kind of talk about some of the things that will be happening during Founders Day, because sometimes when you get to doing these events and planning these events, you kind of overlook some of the changes and things that are going on. So the first thing I wanted to showcase was our page that was created. We'll have a page like this created for all future events. We haven't done this since I've been a part of Main Street. So we're working with HCP. Ricardo, is this the one? Okay. So a big thing, and we're not going to click on it right now, but as we go down to the bottom, you'll see, just keep going for a little while. It kind of gives its own personality, kind of gives it all the information is in one spot. So even during the event, if you can stop right here for a second, once you get to the time frames. Yep, thank you. Even during the event, the participants will be able to walk around and pull this up on their phones. So we listed the times of all the bands that are performing, which again, it just gives you an idea of, instead of us passing out some type of paper product or anything, you'll be able to kind of access this the entire time. We're working on possibly getting QR codes to be able to be posted up around the event so that when you walk through, you can scan it. If you'll go down a little bit more for me. Right about there. So, well, actually, I apologize. Can you go to the first line? I don't think it'll show everything at once. Okay, so we wanted to make sure that the local restaurants and merchants weren't overlooked. So we did list that even during this event, some of the merchants will be open. I did check with some of the restaurants today. There are a few that won't be open. They still don't. They still haven't agreed to be open during Founders Day, but we're working very hard to try to convince them that the foot traffic that they gain from this could be a very big benefit. Some restaurants see it as it's more traffic than what they're prepared to handle. So we're trying to figure out ways of maybe you offer a special menu and some other things, but so far they have not agreed. We also wanted to highlight the parade. I will say that, I guess I should have started off with this. The parade is happening. We are currently at 33 floats. And so we're very excited about that as well. Go down a little bit. This also highlights the relationships we have with different brands going past, I'm sorry, go up one more, look, right, a little bit farther. So these are 4 groups that we're partnering with. And this is important to me because one of the biggest things about doing these events is that there's so many layers to it. In this event alone, you have the kids zone, you have the fish fry, you have the car show, you have the market, you have the parade, and you have the live music. So we're collaborating with a lot of resources that specialize in these things, and they'll take some of the workload off of our volunteer-based board and staff, well, volunteer-based board, I should say. Go down a little bit farther. And this is something that I'm very excited about. It just got released today. This is our parade map, which is already out. There'll be an announcement on social media. That's why I wanted to share it with you guys today. Tomorrow morning, they'll kind of post. It does go through the route, which again, I mean, it's just, we've always had a map, but it hasn't been updated in quite some time. So I'm extremely excited about having that being updated. And it also points out some of the highlights of the event, like the restrooms, the staging area, the car show, parking, and other fish fry and other things that we have going on there. So I'm just extremely excited about how that came out. And go down a little bit, or thank you. Can you close that and go to the next one? Correct. And simultaneously, we redevelop our event map again, trying to highlight certain areas that people can be aware of. It is really difficult when you have a parade because there are some areas that, like the parade route that's listed, will turn into the area that the fish fry tables will be set up. But we don't have a transforming map yet that can show both versions. So you have to anticipate that it'll be there. But again, it goes over the parade route and it highlights some important things as well. And then if you close that, or you can leave it up there. It's all good. So overall, there's a ton of new activities and new things that are going on. One thing I hear from the CRA director when we talk is that all our events are similar. So we're trying to update and create different opportunities, different outlooks. I just want to reference too, when you come down to this event or any event, know that it's a work in progress. Even though these events have happened for years, some of the things that we're doing, we're trying new things while we're also preserving some of the things that we've always done. The parade is a great example. Last year, we did not have the parade. We are having it this year. We're going to make an announcement to try to get people to sign up for Christmas and Founders Day moving forward. The new date will be announced, or 2027 date will be announced during the event. So we are doing everything we can to bring back the excitement that once was. And we did have some mobile homes signed up. And I thought that I should share that because I know we've talked about that in the past. Also, too, the finance team and the public information office, they have partnered and collaborated with us to get the information out. The information is everywhere I can think of. We have worked together to put it on the water bills. It's been featured on a lot of news outlets. So this information is getting out there. And if anyone can recommend places where we're not hitting, please let us know. Any questions for me?
Hey, Antoine, so I just looked up because I had no idea, not that I know now, but Last Minute Lucy, I never heard of them. So looking it up and looked at their schedule, first thing that pops up is that they're performing at Founders Day on the 28th. So they're pushing it out themselves that they're going to be here. So
Yeah.
there's additional advertisement that's going on.
I
that we're not even
appreciate you
aware of.
sharing that. I think that what will happen from this is we will see the benefit from everything we've done for the remaining of the year into next year, because you're all right. All of the bands, I actually follow them on social media. All of the bands have been promoting it. They put it in their schedule. All of the collaborations we did. When you walk out today, you'll see Fancy Flea actually created a special flyer for this event. So yes, we do get that's the beauty of collaborating. But I also think that too, once people come down and see this event in March, I think there will be a lot more. The content we'll capture. We have photographers and videographers. It's just one of those things where we got to grow back Founders Day. I mean, that's just what it is. You know, it's time to make it be the primary event that we have in March. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for me? I appreciate you guys. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you.
You had something else for?
And don't forget the fish fry, 300 plates. And that's it. So
And they don't start till after the parade?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, okay. All right.
All right, are we done?
Yes. Well, I have to ask, is there anybody in the audience who would like to speak regarding the Community Redevelopment Agency? No? Okay. Anybody have anything? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we have a few minutes?
Yeah, let's take 5 minutes.
All right. We're going to take 5-minute break between meetings. Thank you.
I know that you're gonna meet me at the commercial. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're that down there. Oh, are they?
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the regular Zephyrhills City Council meeting. It's Monday, March 23rd, 2026. It is, I've lost a couple years. It is 6:06. Ricardo, could you do the roll call, please?
Yes, Mr. President. Charles Proctor,
Here.
Stephen Spina,
Here?
Lance Smith,
Here.
Jody Wilkerson, Kenneth Burgess,
Here.
Mayor Munson,
Here.
William Poe,
Here.
Matthew Maggard.
And tonight, we will all stand and do the invocation, and it's Nick DeFord from the First Church of the Nazarene, and we'll do the pledge.
It's not turned on. Thanks, Nick.
There we go. All right, let's bow our heads in prayer. God, we just are grateful for the beautiful weather we're experiencing, for this room and the people that are gathered here. Lord, we know there's a lot of reports, a lot of work that's gone into this moment, but we pray that our hearts would be in the right place, not just the papers and the reports and the speakers and presenters, but that our hearts would be in the right place, that we would seek the welfare of this entire city, that we would have your wisdom and guidance leading us as we look to the future. God, we know there's good days ahead of us. There's a lot of turmoil in the world as always, but we enjoy the city that we live in and the people that are our neighbors. And we just pray that you would give us the insight and wisdom to do what's right, do what's best, and to create a better, more peaceful place to live. In Christ's name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, moving forward, citizens' comments. Is there anyone that would like to speak to the council on anything that's not on the agenda? Yes, ma'am. Please state your name and address for the record.
Penny Wickstrom, residence is 39146 Otis Allen, lot 205. I just have a few questions. Number one, there is a lot. The address is 39140 Otis Allen Road. It is lift station 37. Who owns that lot?
I don't know.
I am looking. I believe the city owns that lot.
Correct. Is there a record of, and I would like to have that presented, of the backflow gauge measurements from June, July, August, September, and October of 2025?
Bill, can we do that? It's all public record. We can get it for you.
Make a request to the city clerk and get you all that information.
Okay. I also reviewed the city council meeting from February 9th, 2026 at 1 hour, 6 minutes and 47 seconds was when Jones Edmonds began speaking. He states he agreed that the way the two homes dumped into the system is different. He suggests the vent flap to prevent the gas from migrating up our pipes. Okay, if he suggests that, was there not evidence that it was migrating up the pipes? Councilman Spina, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, asked if this lift station is the cause of the problem. Mike said, and I quote, "Were there any complaints of the original lift station? None that I am aware of. The fact that we now have complaints indicate that the upgrade to the lift station is the source of this. Reasonably, yes, you can make that assumption." End quote. I have a question for you. If I was walking by your property Your pit bull came out and mauled me. I end up in the hospital. Who's responsible for those doctor bills? I wasn't on your property. I would venture to say the owner of the pit bull, right?
You would assume, yes.
Okay. I have evidence of damage to my property. The owner of the said pit bull is the city. Therefore, the city's responsible. Is that not true?
I'm not an attorney, so I couldn't say yes or no.
I am.
Yeah, I don't think this is appropriate place to talk about liability on this, but if council wants me to
Evade the issue.
respond, I
I get
can.
it.
I would. I mean, I think that we've been going through this for several months now. And we're no closer to any kind of resolution than we were apparently in November. And I think that these people deserve answers.
It has
And if
been,
you don't want to do it here, then have a meeting with them and do it and get this resolved.
we've have our insurance provider has been out there. As there was an email as late as Friday, I believe it was. And they've been in communication with the adjuster for the property owners, and insurance is working through this. There's no other answer I can provide to you. As a city, we've put in the flaps that Ms. Wickstrom stated. We've also gone to the manhole and we put like a bypass pipe in there that reduces the turbulence and which is a result of results in off gassing. So that's been reduced. We put in the odor control that we said we would do. As far as the other stuff, it is in insurance's hands, and we are hounding insurance on a daily occurrence. Brian Hillebecki is our adjuster, or our representative, and HR has been in contact with him constantly trying to get this moving forward. But there has been conversations between the adjusters, and that's where we are as a staff.
And what about Edmund Jones?
That they are part of the conversation. And so that is, our insurance is reaching out to their insurance, and all three of them are talking.
And do we have an idea of when this talk will stop?
I do not, no, sir.
I've also come across another incident. After showering, and I don't know if that flap has become compromised already, but after showering, I can walk out and walk my dog, come back in, and there's a rotten egg smell in my home again. So I'm not sure if that's happened already, but just wanted to make sure you're aware of that. My concern is, last council meeting, we had two people of the council who denied that the city was liable. I gave proof that they are. I just wanted to make that statement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak to the council on anything that's not on the agenda? Yes, ma'am. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes.
My name is
And hit the button.
There you
Okay,
go.
can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. My name is, excuse me, Mary Hamill. I live on 6516 Brentwood Drive. And my question to you is, I would like to know what's going on with the golf course. Now that things are starting to grow, the weeds are looking terrible, and it certainly isn't helping the value of any of our property in Silver Oaks. So Steve and Lance, you both live there. You know what's going on. Could you tell me what's happening?
I can't tell you, but I can
We're
tell you.
continuing to work with the property owner. They're continuing to mow the property. They're working on the removal of the trees. Excuse me. Their plan is to burn the big tree pile that they have. Currently, there's a burn ban in place, so they are not able to do that. We've given them time that once the burn ban is lifted, that they can then begin to burn. And that's where we are at the moment.
Okay, and
on the golf
about
course.
2 weeks ago, I talked to the city manager and I asked for a schedule of what was going on because when I walk in the morning, I get stopped by residents and complain about weeds and overgrowth. And there's still a number of trees that have not been taken down. Stumps remain, the entranceway. So I just have asked, we were under a court order. The owner was under a court order of 90 days to make improvements. And this has been probably another 60 days at least since that time, or another 90 days, actually.
Yeah, it's been, since the flooding, it's been a year and a half, and now it's really starting to look bad. I mean, the weeds are growing faster than the grass, and it really looks terrible. And there's 5 homes, residents on Brentwood alone, and things just aren't moving. So, I mean.
And I have been in touch with both the prior operator of the golf course and the owner. And I'm not making very much progress. I'll be quite honest with you. I'm continuing to look at some other options, but it's going to cost a lot of money to get the golf course back going. I mean, several million. So I don't, trying to come up with different solutions possibly for
Yeah.
it. So
Now I understand it. Somebody had said it was up for sale. Is that true?
I think about any property that particular owner has is for sale at the right price. So I don't know that they're marketing it, but I had just spoken with him this late last week, and I wanted to meet with him to try and get something off dead center. But I think that the estimate that they had to get it up and going, it's 6 months and close to $2 to $3 million. So
Did they have insurance on it?
no,
No.
not to cover that. No, I mean.
Well, what's happening with the building? I know when you drive under it, the ceiling's falling down.
And I think we have our code enforcement people out there, but the only thing that they can do is basically get it secure, get it to where it's, somewhat presentable. But as far as reopening, we can't necessarily, to my knowledge, force somebody to reopen. We can do everything we can to help. But
The white glass building is still open. Doors are open, windows are open. It's easily accessible. And I just wondered why we can't enforce the court order to have at least the dead trees taken down. You don't have to burn them. You can take them down.
So I'll have to review the code. I don't know that dead trees in the middle of a property are a code violation. The trees that were around the perimeter that were a danger to the surrounding properties were what were required to come down. I don't know that our code requires
There's
trees in the
trees
middle of a property to
right
come
behind
down.
houses that are hanging, bent over and dead and roots out and haven't been removed.
Full trees
Full trees.
Full trees, yes.
Complete trees.
Yeah.
that are on the ground or that are
Falling
Still
over, still standing, hanging partially over, roots up, blocking sidewalk, which no one's on, cart paths, but yeah, there's trees that are there.
well, if they're blocking cart paths, I don't know that that's a
They're right behind
violation.
homes.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take a look at those,
All
but
right,
I don't
can
know
we
that.
take a look at what the court order required?
We can.
Now, is
Maybe the
there,
attorney could check with Pasco County's attorney to see if the court order's being
So
met?
The last time I spoke to the county attorney is that there was active progress and to prove to hold, they would have to move for contempt to enforce the court order. And if there's active progress, they weren't prepared to do that because you have to show a willful violation. And if they're making progress, keeping it mowed at the time, cutting trees down and piling them up, then they didn't feel comfortable moving forward with that. To be clear, and I can't get into the details why, but I have a legal conflict. I can't represent the city or the property owner for this particular issue. So I've been trying to help navigate the situation by being a middleman, talking to them and with the city manager. But the case is being prosecuted by the county attorney's office through an agreement we have. Since I do private practice, there rarely, but sometimes there's conflicts that arise. And the golf course is unfortunately one of them.
So if they just mow the grass, then they pretty much get a free pass?
I don't think it's a free pass. We'll have to look at what exactly they were cited for and what's still not in compliant. But the minimum standards under the code and what a normal golf course looks like are very different things, is I think part of the problem. What, if it was an open pasture, what would our code require them to do? And that's kind of the standard that you would have to look at. What is the height of the grass and weeds? That would be a violation. I think it's over 12 inches would be a violation. And then what are the conditions of the trees? If they're creating, like Billy said, if it's just a dead tree or a fallen down tree in an open field, I don't know that there's anything that the code would require specifically. If it's a danger to other property or creating, that's what we'd have to look at. If it's a whole tree down, then maybe it's creating an infestation or creating a habitat for varmints. We can look at that. That may be a new citation. I don't recall exactly how it was cited before. But I went out there with the city manager. We rode the property, and to me, it looked like it was being mowed down below ankle height at the time. And I know that the trees were being piled up, and we did confirm that there is, due to the drought, there is a burn ban. The county won't issue a fire permit. I think it's a reasonable request probably to burn it instead of haul all those off, because quite a bit of oak trees. But if there's still other trees down, I think that needs to be looked at. I think the buildings were addressed as well, and we were told they were going to be secured. So if that hasn't been done, that's something we can take action on.
Thank you.
Because there are quite a few trees that are just over and they haven't been cut or anything. Nothing's been happening to them. There are quite a few. It's a mess. It really is. When you ride around in a golf cart, you'll see how bad things really are. So things, it's just not looking good for our area at all. So.
Thank you for
And I
bringing that
think-
to our
And I
attention.
have another question, if any of you could answer. What kind of homes are going on Geiger Road where they removed a brick house and they went in and they're building something down there? What was approved for that? What's there? You should know.
I know what's there.
What are they doing?
Townhomes are proposed there.
Yeah, there's 160,
166.
166 townhomes back in that.
166 townhomes
Mhm.
that are going to be built there?
Mhm.
So that's what, 3 stories or 4 stories?
Two.
Two stories, just regular townhomes.
That many are going in?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that's well below what they were allowed to do. But we cut it back because of water retention back there.
Okay.
So, yeah, trust me, I'm on top of
I'm
that
sure-
one.
yeah, my sister
And-
lives over in,
Yeah, I've been not happy many days about the project because they cleared everything, but they are going to be bringing trees back. I'm assured of that.
so,
And
yeah.
yeah, so that's what it is.
Okay.
Now, again, they could have put more in, but we fought to get less.
Good.
Kenny,
Wow.
did you have something you wanted to say, sir?
Yeah, mine was back about the golf course. The former golf course operators, they were the ones that were mowing that to kind of keep it in check in case they ever got back in there. But at this point, from what I understand, they are not going to be doing any more maintenance on that at all. So it's going to quickly grow up.
It already is looking bad.
And the other thing is, and this would be for the owner's benefit, obviously, is there ought to be some no trespassing sign or something up there. It's not an operating golf course anymore, but it's going to become, I've already seen a couple of dirt bikes in there. And once the word gets out, that's just going to expand even more. So, I mean, I think probably should encourage the owner, well, it's at the state it's at, that it should be no trespassing and, maybe we catch trespassers in there, somebody can, call law enforcement or whatever, but that would be on the owners because that's their liability. if Something happens. So, anyway, so yeah, we're gonna have to keep on top of that.
Okay, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, I agree with the no trespassing signs, and we'll have that conversation with the owner. I know, as Matt said, I spoke with one of the owners. I was out last week, so the week before, and he said he was getting plywood to close in that glass building. But what I do want to remind council is that the minimum standards of what the grass heights can be and what a golf course looks like are completely different. And right now, those minimum standards are being met. And so what we've done as a staff is continue to work with them to try to keep that grass mowed. I think it is anything over 12 inches becomes when it's a violation, and they've kept it mowed below that. Is it grass? Is it golf course quality grass or cut? No, not by any means.
The grass is mostly dead.
Right. And I mean, that's our goal, is to keep it mowed down.
Trees and some of the, there's weeds and things growing up around ponds that are quite high.
Yeah.
And what used to be sand traps, I guess.
Yeah, it used to be.
Right.
They're growing grass now.
If the grass is at, say, it's 12 1/8 of an inch, we make the violation, how long do they have to get it taken care of? Because we've seen that they're very slow on reacting to anything there. So if it becomes a violation of the grass, how long do they have to rectify it? 'Cause that's like 120 acres or something, correct?
On a issue like high grass, it's what we call repairable or revocable offense, meaning they can address it and fix it. So we have to give them 10-day
10
notice
days.
before we can cite them. Once we cite them, we're anywhere from 45 days to 60 days to get in front of the judge, depending on what time of month we cite them, because we have code enforcement court once a month. So we cite them, let's say on the 15th of this month, or what's today, the 23rd. They probably wouldn't be seen until the May court date, by the time the clerk processes and gets it on the docket, because the next court date for April is probably full, is what I suspect. I don't know that, but generally, sometimes it can be the next court date, but generally it's the second one after the one after you cite them. And that's just the process. And then normally if they enter into an agreement at that point, or plea to the violation, they'll have 30 days to come into compliance, typically, is what the court does. I think they gave longer on this one because of the amount of trees that were down. If they don't agree, it'll be set for the following month for a trial for us to prove that they're in violation.
And then if they mow it the day before the trial, then they're in compliance.
I think you go forward with the trial because they were in violation at the time you cited them.
Well, I mean, when the original thing was December 9th or something like that. Well, unfortunately, everything had stopped growing a lot. We had a lot of cold spells. It's been dead for several months, but we're getting ready to hit that season where it's going to start growing and growing fast. It's already starting to grow.
It's already
So, and we've only had a couple rains.
Yeah.
To keep an eye on. And I wasn't aware of the high grass or weeds, but I haven't been actively involved in it. But I know that there was issues around the pond, but I thought those were addressed. At least I was told that by code last time.
I believe they cited them for the pond that's on hole 7. The pond that's on hole
3.
It
One
was
is
bad.
on hole
Yeah.
1.
3.
And then,
the one in the back. I'm not
and
sure
that's
on
on
hole 1.
like 15, I think, or something.
Well,
The
you
other
know,
one.
what we need to do is we need to reach out to the owner, be proactive and go ahead and
Yes.
reach out and tell him that we expect it to be maintained at a certain level and let him know now, because when it does start raining, that stuff's going to jump up real quick.
Real fast. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
And let me ask a question. So these homeowners need to quit thinking of it as a golf course and as an open field? That's going to be a hard thing, but that sounds like what's the deal,
From a
huh?
code enforcement.
Per code
perspective, yes.
enforcement? Okay, that's what I heard. That's why I wanted to make sure. Ugh,
I mean, we've
Okay.
seen it all over
Yeah,
the county and
yes,
Hillsborough as well, with some of the golf courses that went under.
right. Well, the same thing happened out there at Hidden Creek forever too.
Yeah, and Pebble Creek had the problem in Tampa, North Tampa, and then
Mhm.
Quail Hollow.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think they're trying to put homes or did put homes on
Unfortunately,
there.
it's going to look a little different for you guys, which is sad. It breaks my heart too. I'm a golfer.
I know the city was working with the owner in an attempt to help find a way to get the golf course back going, because that's the sure way of
Yeah.
maintaining it. But I think
Not at the
the
cost.
damages to the, was it irrigation?
Yeah.
Is so expensive to repair that I don't know if that's feasible.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak to the council that's not on the agenda? If you
Still
state your
on?
name and address for the
Yeah.
record, you have.
Don Hamill, Brentwood Drive, and reiterate on the debris around the golf course. I would like everybody that's involved on the board to drive well. I got a golf cart, I can drive through, there's tons, and you talk about burn ban and that they're allowed, you're talking months of burning. There's so many trees there. And the parking lot is full, the 18th green is full. You're talking 80, 90 trees that were down. And you're talking about burn ban, you're talking a lot of smoke and a lot of burning. I don't think we're gonna solve any issues with letting them burn for months at a time. Also, I haven't seen them, but on the outbuildings, there's blankets, water bottles. I believe there's strands that live in there. I don't have any proof, but it's open, like you said, there's a lot of people, younger kids that are riding motorcycles through there. The golf course does own the property. No matter if it's the golf course or a field, they have to maintain it. So I was one that fortunately didn't get a lot of damage with the storm, but I put a whole new lawn in front and the back, and the weeds from the golf course, they mow just there's no really mowing. They just pass through. The weeds are coming into my property from them, and sooner or later, the board's gonna say to me, Donald, your lawn looks like crap. So it's from them, and I've spent a lot of money on sod. So even though right now it's a golf course, it's still a privately owned company. And I shouldn't have to wait for smoke to come over my house, weeds coming through my house. Somebody has to step on and say, hey, your property's not up to their standards. The pile of dead leaves, dead trees is amazing. You're talking 40, 50, 60 truckloads. So you want to have a burning thing. When that happens, and that board lets that go too, the smoke is going to be horrendous for a long time. It's going to do more damage than having them clean up my property was bad. Somebody would tell me to clean up, but I believe there's between the band and people living in the sheds, there's an issue. So, thank you.
No, thank you.
And he's got a great point of burning. I know in that property beside us, the landowner burnt only one weekend, and it was only over 2 days. It was unbearable for our homes.
That's only 10%.
That's exactly. So he's got a great point. I know it's expensive to move it out, but I don't know how they're going to be able to stand that much being burnt in that properties.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak to the council on anything that's not on the agenda tonight? Seeing none, I'll move forward to the mayor's announcements.
We have Miss Ali. She's going to she's been working on a little project and she wanted to present that to us.
Oh. Hello, my name is Amira Ali, and I'm a student with St. Petersburg College, the Public Policy and Administration program. As part of my capstone project, today I'm presenting findings from a stakeholder survey regarding hurricane and disaster preparedness for essential City of Zephyrhills employees. Before I begin, I wanted to sincerely thank Kevin from the Public Information Office, the city clerk, and the city manager for all of their assistance and guidance with this project. It would not have been possible without them. So this survey was distributed anonymously through the city's Public Information Office, and it was completed by 24 employees, including members of the police department and other municipal staff. The purpose of the survey was to better understand whether current emergency shelter resources adequately support essential employees and their families during hurricanes and disasters. The results indicated a concern among employees about the availability, safety, and suitability of existing shelter options. Several participants noted that the current shelters lack privacy, have safety concerns, and may not adequately serve families, particularly those with children or pets. A key theme was the need for secure, designated shelter for essential personnel and their immediate families. And what I mean by essential personnel is those that are required to report to work during a hurricane. Employees share that during emergencies, they often work extended hours while worrying about their family's safety and access to basic needs. This added stress can impact their focus and effectiveness during critical operations. Based on these findings, I recommend that the city develop a formal hurricane shelter plan for essential employees and their families, either through a dedicated facility, which would obviously be very costly, or a reliable county partnership with existing county shelters. Supporting essential employees strengthens emergency response and ensures the continuity of public services when the community needs them most. Thank you very much.
That was very good. Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
What is your major?
Public policy and administration. I also work for the sheriff's office. I've been there about 7 years.
Okay, all right, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving forward, is that all you have, Mayor?
Yes, yes, sir.
We have a tabled item. It's a public hearing. Do I need to,
We need a motion to pull it off the table.
I need a motion to pull this off the table?
Mr. President, I move to pull it off the table, this item.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Matthew?
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. This is first reading of Resolution 866-26, resolution by the City Council of the City of Zephyrhills amending the approval of a conditional use to exceed the height limitations of the C1 neighborhood commercial zoning district on parcel number 2625210000700000 as approved in resolution number 847-25, finding conformity with the comprehensive plan and land development code and providing an effective date. If you recall, this was before your last meeting, and there were some suggested edits. So we tabled the item, made those changes to the conditions, and then bringing it back for you tonight for approval.
Thank you. Again, I look at this as a public hearing. I'm going to go ahead and open up the public hearing. Is there anyone that would like to speak to this item? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and turn it over to the council.
Yes, Mr. President, and I'm assuming that the applicant was fine with the changes about the long-term rental?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'll move to approve this item.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor, say
Wait,
aye.
I have a question. What happens, I mean, in terms of long-term rentals, we were talking about like business people or workers, but what if somebody comes down and their mother is in intensive care and they have to stay an extended period of time? That's not included in this type of thing.
It's not preventing the use, it's the type of hotel. So
Okay.
like people can stay there longer, but there's specific extended stay branded hotels
Okay.
and styled hotels. And one of the restrictions is that it won't be one of those. But it doesn't prohibit people staying longer. They're just not set up and designed for that.
And I think in a declared state of emergency, it would be the same thing. You know, you would be able to stay there for longer.
Correct.
Anything else?
No, thank you.
All right, well, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
No,
Oh, you're a
I'm
no.
opposed.
Oh, I have one opposed and three ayes.
I've been opposed to this project from the start. It's not because of the hotel type. It's just
Okay.
because it's a hotel.
Thank you. All right, we have consent agenda items. We have 4 consent agenda items on the docket tonight. We can pass them all at once, or anyone can pull any of them for discussion.
Mr. President, I ask for 2 and 3 to be pulled.
All right,
Second,
I got a motion and a second to pull items 2 and 3. I'll entertain a motion on 1 and 4.
I move that we approve consent agenda items 2.1 and 2.4.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. 2.2.
Yes, Mr. President, thank you. I had just wanted to thank the planning staff for, and whoever else was involved in getting this thing out to bid. Interestingly, the difference in the numbers too, you know. So it seemed like that one of them was within the engineer's estimate and the other 2 didn't want the work or something. But that being said, I just wanted to give a shout out to staff for helping push this thing across. So I would make a motion to approve this item.
Second,
I have a motion and a second to approve item 2.2. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
And 2.3, my question was, I know this is about the interconnect between Pasco County and Zephyrhills reclaimed water. And I had asked the question way back, does this mean that we have to sell water to Pasco County? Does this obligate us to sell any of our reclaimed water in any way to Pasco?
So I don't know the answer to that. What is in the funding agreement is that we will connect to the Pasco County's reclaimed water system to meet their diurnal and seasonal county reclaimed water demands. The project will enable the supply of reclaimed water for future customers in the North Tampa Bay water use caution area. There's more to it than that, both in what we supply and what we don't supply and how that impacts our water use permit. So I say all that to say, I will have to do a little more research and give you an answer on that.
And the reason that I question is, first off, it's going to become more and more valuable as time goes on, this water is. Secondly, I know we have to, and I know it might not influence it, but I know the ribs have to have a certain amount through them per our Swift mud. So I just want to make sure that we're, we can't, it's up to us whether
Correct.
we sell to Pasco or not. So I just,
Correct.
that's what I'm
It should
concerned
be up
about.
to us.
Well, I don't know. We just need to make sure.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
No, I agree with
100%.
that.
All right.
are we going to vote on it or table it?
I think we're probably too deep into it
So
at this
this
point.
project is there are pipes in the ground, and what this does here is it rearranges, and I don't it rearranges the dollar amount. So it does not increase the overall grant amount, but it reallocates between design permitting, the construction cost, engineering services during construction, and the GIS. So this is a project that is pretty close to being complete. This, as I said, this amendment, it extends the time frame to complete the project to December of 27. It should be completed well before that, and then reallocates between those 4 line items. But the dollar amount of the $880,000 in grant remains the same.
And have we entered into the agreement with Pasco yet or not?
No, sir, we have not.
Okay, so that's when we'll have our chance. But I would just move approval, but I'm just wary of that. So I move approval of this item.
Second, and then this is the
Your
lines
mic's off,
that have
sir.
already gone in. Sorry. This is the lines that have already gone in up Simons Road and down.
Correct. Yeah, that purple pipe that was
Yeah.
all along Island.
And
So the
Simons.
project starts at,
Dairy Road.
Stadium Drive. Yeah, Dairy Stadium Drive area. Connects there, runs west along 54 onto Island, crosses to the north side, runs along Island to Simons, and then turns north and goes to the second entrance of Abbott Square. And it'll provide reclaimed water to the Abbott Square project, but also connects into Pasco County. So we'll have to look at that, exactly how that agreement is written.
Okay, thank you.
All right, well, I have a motion and a second to pass 2.3.
Your mic's off, Mr. President.
I have a motion and a second to pass item 2.3. I'll entertain a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Forgive me. Business item 3.
Council President, staff requests that council postpone this ordinance or continue it to a date certain, and that date certain would be April 13th. That would be the request of staff.
Is that for 3.1 and 3.2?
Correct,
Do we do them
yes, sir.
separately?
I believe, yeah, you have to do them
So I
separately.
need a motion to table it?
Not to table, but to continue it to the April 13th meeting. And what that does is that allows us to not have to re-advertise both items. And the reason these are on here tonight, even though we knew they needed to be postponed, is because they had been advertised. So if we can do a continuation to a date certain of April 13th, we will not have to re-advertise.
Mr. President,
these
I move
items.
we continue this to April 13th, that's 3.1.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to continue 3.1 to another date. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Mr. President, I move that we continue 3.2 to April 13th.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to continue 3.2. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. City managers report.
Yes, sir. So I'd like to introduce Timbria Thompson. She is the new public information officer intern. She's been with us for 3 weeks now, a month, a little over a month. She was born in Starkville, Mississippi. She was raised in Jacksonville. She's a U.S. Air Force veteran, served from 2016 to 2020. So thank you for your service. And she graduated with her bachelor's degree in communications from University of South Florida. She's now working on pursuing her master's degree in marketing and communications and is interning with us. She's shown Kevin how to make some videos on some park equipment, and I'm just kidding. But she has been a great addition to not only the PIO team, but to the city. So Timbria Thompson, welcome.
All right, is that all?
Yes, sir.
Mayor's announcements.
First, I just want to thank all the staff for the cleanup. It was great to see staff, the department heads out there, along with all your working staff out there working side by side. I am a firm believer that you should never ask anybody to do something that you're not going to do yourself, right? That's why you're seeing me out there picking up crap, because I'm not going to ask somebody else to do something I'm not willing to do. So I appreciate that mentality on staff level. And I look forward to us doing more of those, because I feel like it's when you see that improvement in our city, that's a big deal. Okay. So thank you. The one thing that I talked to Gail about that day was, as the youth council and I cleaned up over there, we have this non-smoking ordinance at Zephyr Park, at any of our parks. The biggest thing we picked up was cigarette butts all over. So, I've asked for her to think about how we can do signage at our parks to make sure it looks better. Make sure people know that they're going to get fined if they're out there. I don't know. you might tell me wrong that they're going to get fined if they're out there smoking. But they're not supposed to be out there smoking like that, and we shouldn't have to worry about that. And I also talked to her about when we start the Zephyr Park project, I really would like signs all along the front and the sides talking about, you know, maybe your community at work, and talking about the things that are going to be coming in to get people excited, and to maybe not complain so much about the dirt and the mess that it's going to be, but to say in 12 months, you know, you're going to see a ninja course out here. In 13 months, a new water park's going to be here. Signage that really gets them excited and talking about what's coming, because that park is going to be our signature park for sure. And I really want our citizens to be as excited about it as we are. I know all of us are ready for that. We've been waiting on that one for 10 years. So we're ready for that park to be done. And then the last thing, I'm going to bring it up one more time, that I just want to see us pushing sidewalks through our historic district. We need sidewalks. People should be able to walk down the road, and not just the plans, they need to happen. So, you know, as we're building a mile of sidewalks, we should already have another mile ready in the docket, the plans ready for that next mile, because that's the only way we're going to get this done. And as we're doing that, lighting has to be included. Our community, as dark as it is, it's very hard driving down these streets at night and the dark. And I'm sure Nate will, Lieutenant would agree that that's a difficult thing for people walking down the streets with no sidewalks, no lighting. It's a dangerous thing. And that's very important to me, and something that I've been pushing, and I just want it to really be as important to staff. So thank you for letting me get on my high horse.
No problem. Is that all?
We're excited about Founder's Day. Youth Council will be there to walk in Founder's Day. We're thrilled. I love, and Antoine's not here, but I love him, the whole committee reinventing Founder's Day and trying to get some buzz back. So I think it'll be a huge hit. If all of us could push that out on our social medias, that would be a really good thing. Thank you.
Thank you. City managers announcements.
Yes, just a couple things. Reminder, April 13th. Ricardo, thank you for reminding me of this. April 13th is the budget workshop that was requested. That'll be at 5 p.m. Also, I saw the application came in for Summerfest, June 27th. We're working with Reeves Young on the timing of that, because we know that Zephyr Park is supposed to start close to that time frame. So June 27th is the request for Summerfest. So that should be happening there at Zephyr Park again this year. And then I wanted to bring this up. I was able to talk to most of you, but at last meeting, there was a question about the Zephyrhills High School, City of Zephyrhills scholarships. And there was a conversation about the students, kind of where they live, what their school zone is for. My suggestion is that we keep the scholarship as it is, and it targets Zephyrhills High School students, and we create a separate funding source or a separate scholarship that would be youth council scholarships for the seniors, just to kind of keep it clean, because I think if we're opening it up, there's a potential, and maybe it's just me that's concerned about this, that we're giving scholarship dollars to Wesley Chapel kids from tax dollars that are paid by city residents. And I know that some of our youth council kids are in Wesley Chapel, but they are coming in, and I think the members are doing a great job. And I think, and I talked to the mayor briefly, is maybe we create some criteria that to be eligible for a scholarship, you have to do X, Y, and Z, and you have to meet the criteria. And if you meet it, then you're able to apply for the youth council scholarship. So that's something we'll have to work out. And I know we need to do it quickly because we're getting close to the end of the year. And so I think there's enough, we can find some dollars in the budget to accomplish that this year, if council's okay with that.
And we would only have 2 probably this year anyway. So they, that's great. We're not talking a lot. So I'm all for that. I have no problem separating it out. And they're working on a code of conduct at their next meeting. So we'll add that, to their code of conduct, that if they fulfill this level, then they would qualify for scholarship, Okay. So we'll make sure we add all that in.
So we'll, as a staff, we'll start working on that. And I mean, Ricardo and Kevin, we'll start working on that and we'll get it finalized. I'm just kidding. We'll all start working on it.
When's that workshop? What time? Is it after the regular meeting?
5 p.m.
Oh, before. Okay.
Before.
Okay.
That's the one for council input into the budget, council suggestions. So bring your ideas.
Okay. All right, is that all?
Yes, sir.
You're my
City attorney's announcements.
I'll just say that I'm not trying to deflect answers from our citizens. It's just, I guess after doing this for 14 years, I realized why everybody hates lawyers. And it's because our insurance denied the claim originally. We asked them to relook at it and they're investigating again. So I can't state that we have liability or don't have liability or make any comments on it until we get final word from them. I mean, if city council wants to accept liability after that's resolved one way or another and directs us to issue payments of some sort, we'll follow your direction. Obviously, I'd like to have conversations with you before that happens, but I don't mean any disrespect at all. It's part of dealing with the insurance and having to wait for them to make a final determination before we can really discuss it. That's all I have.
Thank you. City council comments. Councilman Bridges?
Just real quick, like the Depot Park playground equipment has really turned out really good and my grandkids love it. They're asking to go there like every time they come over to the house, you want to go there. So with the popularity of the Depot Museum now, that's becoming kind of like a major park for us. And especially when we start renovating Zephyr Park, that and Hercules are going to take on a lot of that. So it's going to become even more well attended. So I just want to let you know that it turned out really, really good. That's all I got.
Thank you. Councilman Spina?
Yes, thank you. I just want to remind everybody after you attend Founder's Day downtown, make sure you stop by the Depot. The Historical Association will be there and they're hosting a history and motion event that'll feature about 75 pre-1940 vehicles. And they'll have food and some other things and historic things within the depot itself. Also, on the topic of sidewalks, if we could get an update from the city manager on the sidewalks I mentioned earlier. And also last year, we had agreed to do some design of sidewalks on Wire Road and Fort King Road. And I would like an update on that. And if we've approached the county about the construction of those when we're.
Yeah. Good.
I can touch briefly on the trail projects. Yeah, we've been working with BGE on the design engineering of those sidewalks. We have 30% plans on both. We can share those. I will update on the Fort King project that comes from Simons Road, comes through Silver Oaks. We've asked to meet the engineer on that's been working on the plans to date to meet and do a field visit. I think there's some opportunities probably along Fort King near Silver Oaks to probably skirt the tree around the back side of the trees, that front Fort King, to save those. And then to continue that in front of the real estate office there. We have the right of way west of the real estate office, but the real estate office probably need an easement or a little additional right of way. But we're looking at options, and then you go further east, they got that heavily treed site that drops off significantly. So I thought it'd be good to do a field visit. They're just showing a sidewalk going straight through there and not as concerned with the trees. So we want to be aware of the trees, and so I've asked and they've agreed to, so we're going to meet out in the field to field walk that area to further refine the 30% plans.
Okay, Wire Road also?
Wire Road also shows 30% plans, and we got a trail that goes all the way through it. I think at the Duke Energy site there, where we have a lot of conflicts with wires and poles, they're just showing it shooting straight through there. I think while we're out there looking at Fort King, we'll probably run that by there. I think that trail is going to have to can meander through some of those existing conflicts. So, but yeah, it's moving forward.
Okay, good.
And we met with, when I say we, Matt and I met with Duke representatives today because the franchise agreement, the electric franchise agreement is coming due. And so there was a request for those plans to try to get an easement or the right of way from Duke to at least secure that portion of it so we can keep the project moving forward.
Okay, were we going to talk to the county about the funding of it, the building of it, or is that part of the plan?
Yeah, I think that's the goal, whether talking trails or hotspots even, to finish the design engineering, get estimated costs, and then we're in a position to negotiate probably the partnering.
Yeah, and there's been, you've had conversations, I mean, I know very preliminary conversations, both on the hotspots and the trails.
Correct.
Try to get some of that joint funding.
And we actually listed all these projects, just so y'all are aware. I've shared this with our planning staff, and Billy's aware of this, that there's with the MPO, there's a LOP list, a list of priority projects. So we recently got the trail projects added to that list and all of our hotspots. So now they're all on the list. And that's the first step of coordinating, negotiating, trying to get some partnering on the funding.
All right, thank you.
Anything else? Councilman Smith.
Yeah, I didn't have anything until you reminded me about a sidewalk. What's the status of the one on Geiger?
Geiger Road, the design engineering is completed, and I did confirm originally they were looking at putting it on the south side, but I've asked them to revisit it. Now it's going to be on the north side because the cottages is going to have trail along their frontage. And of course, the other bookend by 301 and Geiger, they already got sidewalk on the north side, but the county engineer, assistant engineer did confirm that the plan is for the design engineering that was done after a survey to build it on the north side. So I think it was design engineering this year and funding for construction next year.
Okay, so it's next year, the fund construction?
Yeah, and there's money funded for Wire Road as well, but I think Fort King is what we'll have to work on, some funding.
Yeah, Wire Road definitely needs, that's a need, and Geiger. So it's both those are dangerous. So thank you, that's it.
And I would just like to thank Ms. Thompson for becoming part of our team here, and you're very welcome. I appreciate all you're doing, helping out. And that's all I have tonight. Meeting adjourned. What's up, bud? Good to see you. Oh, thank you. Did you wrangle some?